Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with an exciting update for my Panda face palette. I have a very reflective palette, as you know. This is my Hourglass Ambient Edit Ghost palette, which is my Panda face palette for the year. So I've actually never done a Panda face palette before, like prior to this year, but I wanted to introduce it because I now have a number of face palettes in my collection, and the one that I'm working on has just been really great because it has everything that I need for a face palette. It has 2 face powders, it has a highlighter, a bronzer, and 2 blushes. So it's been really fun to reach for, and I'm basically reaching for it every single day without fault. So that is what I'm going to talk you through today. Again, I think this is quite an exciting update, especially looking at the numbers. I haven't actually compared the pictures yet, so I'm hoping there's some good progress that you can see in the video, and obviously me when editing. But I'm going to jump into all of that. But before I do so, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So before I jump into the progress update, I just want to briefly mention that this video is sponsored by Annalisa. I did get sent some free jewelry from them. I'm wearing the earrings, one pair of earrings today. These are just some gold hoops, which I've been looking for a super long time. I've been dying to get a pair like this for ages, and I found these. I will have the name and everything on screen right now. And you guys know I love Annalisa. I've been working with them in the past. I do really love the quality, the brand. They are carbon neutral. They have really fun designs. And I go to them for like everyday jewelry. If you look at any of my videos, most of the jewelry, especially like earrings, is almost always from Annalisa. But to be fair, if I'm wearing earrings, they are from Annalisa, just because I reach for them all the time. They're super comfortable, especially like these kind of hoop earrings are super comfortable. You can have like the smaller hoop as well, which is what I normally wear. I sleep in them. I don't take them off. They're super comfortable, long lasting, affordable, and I think they're great. So they also come in these like really handy packaging. So I have these 2 pouches which I got now, and again, they're super handy. They come in here in like a little container like this, and this is the other pair that I got. These are, I think, the San hoops. Yeah, so they're like these little tiny hoops, super stunning. I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of these too. They're probably going to be my new go-to earrings, so you will see them in other videos coming up for sure. But yeah, I love Annalisa. I'm very grateful for them working with me again. I will have a link as always down below whenever I work with them with just my personal link. So if you are planning to shop on Annalisa, it would really help me out if you use that link. It's not affiliated or anything. It's just to help track the traffic for my channel, I guess. So again, I would really appreciate it if you use it, if you want to check out any of their pieces. But yeah, thank you to Annalisa again. Let's jump into the update for my palette. So again, the palette that I'm working on is the Ghost Edit palette, which looks like this. I will roll the footage while I'm talking about it, just so you can see what it's been looking like over the past couple of months. So as you now will be able to see easier, there is, like I said, 2 face palettes. They're the first 2 shades in the palette, a lighter and a darker shade. Then the third and last shade on the top row is a highlighter, and it's more of a subtle highlighter, but it's really stunning still. And then moving on to the second row, the first shade over there is a bronzer. It's a really beautiful kind of like neutral tone bronzer that works for me all year round, so it's been really fun to play with too. And then the last 2 shades are the blushes. We have, again, a bit more of a deeper kind of blush in the center, and then a lighter blush at the end. And as you've been looking through the footage, I would have probably already hit pan on the second shade in the palette, and also on the last shade, the blush. I don't know exactly what kind of speed I'm using things up when I'm talking through this, but you will see that eventually I did also use up the last blush in the palette, which is the shade Sublime Flush. It's a really beautiful blush. I really did enjoy it, and I could build this one up quite a bit because it was a bit lighter, and I love that blush quite a bit. So this, what you're looking at right now, is where I was with this palette last month. My main focus was to focus on the blush, and then the first shade on the top row and the last shade on the top row, and this is what the palette looks like today. So again, I'm not sure if you will be able to see much difference just looking at the footage. I'm hoping so. I know though that the biggest difference is going to be in the last blush standing. I have used that one a lot, and you can hopefully see some pan showing now. So yes, that is where the palette looks at the moment. I'm really happy with how it's looking, and I do have some exciting progress, mainly again in that blush shade. You can see that I properly hit pan on it now, so that's exciting to see. I can also see some really good movement in both the shade and this shade, and I will talk you through that when I go through the uses. So we're going to start off with the first shade in the palette called Dim Light, and with this one I always try to reach for it at least 20 times now a month just to get some good use on it, and I have been using this one a lot. It's been like used almost every single day, and I ideally wanted to pan by this update, and you might be able to see there in the corner there is a little bit of pan showing. I'm not sure if I'm going to count it as proper pan yet, but I am super close, so yeah, happy with that. And I have actually used this one an impressive 28 times in the past month, so super happy with that number, and that is the shade Dim Light. The second shade in the palette is the shade Diffuse Light, which is the lighter kind of setting powder or like finishing powder. And this is a product I'm kind of saving for the very end of the year when I'm paler, because I have still been fake tanning on and off, which is why I'm focusing on Dim Light at the moment. But I have reached for this one 3 times, so a little bit, but not too much. And I'm hoping to again get some more use out of it in the upcoming months once I stop focusing on Dim Light. Then the last shade on the top row is that highlighter, and this is the shade Iridescent Strobe Light, which is another one that I focus a lot on. I use this one also all the time. I do kind of mix these two together with the blush usually, to tone down the blush a little bit because it's quite intense. It's what I'm wearing today. That mix with those 3 is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and I feel like it's still quite intense. So to tone that blush down, I am mixing all 3 of those shades, and it gives me this kind of glowy cheek, which I really am enjoying. But it also means that I have reached for this highlighter quite a lot too, and I have 27 uses on this one in the past month. So again, there is a decent amount of product left, but I can definitely see it's flattening out, and I did have a little kind of gouge in the pan, and you might be able to see that the pan is showing up there in that small little indent. And with that, I can also see that the pan, like it's not too much left in there. Hopefully you can see that it's definitely getting flatter, so I'm hopeful that I might still be able to get through it before the end of the year. Moving on to the second row, we only have 2 shades left. The first one is the bronzer shade called Eternal Bronze Light, and that is again a really neutral shade, which I love. I do really love this bronzer. However, I have not used it at all in the past month, and that is because, again, I have been still self-tanning a little bit, and I'm still have a little bit of a tan left. So I've been focusing on the bronzer in my deck of panning, which is the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer, because that is definitely more of a warm tone bronzer. It's the one that I'm wearing today. And I feel like as soon as I stop fake tanning, I'm not going to want to reach for that one anymore, because it is very warm toned and very bronzy, and I feel like it's not going to suit me. And that is when I'm going to switch over to this one. I'm hoping maybe in November I'm going to start using it a little bit. And otherwise in December, this will be my go-to bronzer to get out. I'm still hopeful that I can get it out. It's very flat in there, and even though I haven't hit pan on it, I think I should be able to hopefully get it out in a month if I focus on it purely. But then we have the last shade in the palette, which is, well, not the last shade in the palette, but the last remaining shade in the palette, which is that blush shade, and that is called Iridescent Rose. It is, again, the blush that I'm wearing is the blush that I'm wearing most days now, just because I do really want to get this one out. And I have, like you could see, hit pan on this blush, which is really exciting, and you can see that it's getting very thin. I was hoping to finish that corner off, and I mostly have. You can see there's a little bit of product on top of the waffle grid, but mostly it is gone there, so I feel like I have succeeded with my goal. But with this product, again, I use it a lot. It's not the only blush that I'm panning though, so I haven't used it as much as the highlighter and the first shade Dim Light, but I have reached for it 20 times, which I still think is very impressive in a month. So I'm super happy with those numbers. And that is again the last shade, because I have already finished up, sorry, this side, I have already finished up Sublime Flush. So yes, that is the palette now. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous that I will finish everything up before the end of the year, just because I don't have pan on everything. And in my head, we still have so much time left, but it's only 2 months left. So I need to continue reaching for this one. I'm definitely going to keep working on the 3 pans that I'm focusing at the moment. This one, because I feel like especially these 2 are my problem pans. And we'll see how far I can get with them in the next month. Depending on how it goes, I will probably also stop dipping into this one, depending on how Dim Light gets on. And with the bronzer on this side, I am going to start using it, again, depending on how much progress I'm getting on my Deco Panning bronzer. But yeah, that is the main update for this palette. Before I go into the goals for the next month, I'm just going to talk you through the weight briefly. Alright, so the same kind of spiel as always. This palette at the introduction weighed 138.32 grams, so that was my starting point, and it has an advertised weight of 8.4, which means that on average, in order to reach those 8.4, I need to finish up 0.7 grams. So that is kind of my, go-to goal every single month for weight is 0.70. So just to sum up, in quarter 1 and quarter 2 and quarter 3, because we're now in quarter 4, I can go through the weight. So in quarter 1, I was able to finish up 2.33 grams, which was great because the goal for quarter 1 was 2.1, which again is 0.7 times 3. So really happy with quarter 1. For quarter 2, I reached 2.14 grams, so slightly less than in quarter 1, but I was still able to reach for more than my goal. So very, very happy. Again, by the way, the goal was 2.1 grams at that point, and I had also used 4.47 grams total at the end of quarter 2. For quarter 3, which was the end of last month, so that's kind of where I was standing at that point, I was able to reach for 2.69 grams of product in quarter 3, which is really, really high. It's the best quarter that I've had so far this year. And again, the goal was 2.1, so super happy with that. And I was standing at a total of 7.16 grams done. And again, at that point, the goal was 6.3. So what's that, like 0.8-ish? Not quite, but around that number above my kind of goal. So very, very happy with that. I was more than a whole month ahead of schedule. So that is where I stood at the last update. And at that point, the pallet weighed 131.16 grams. That was the last update. And today, the pallet weighs 130.29 grams, which means that I have been able to reach for or finish up 0.87 grams in the past month, which is really high. It is up there. It's not one of my best months, but it's up there as like a really, really good month. So I'm super pleased with that number, especially considering now, obviously, I have less pants that I'm reaching for. I'm only really reaching for those 3. So super, super high usage on those. And that means that I currently have a total use in the pallet that is 8.03 grams, which again is very, very good. And also, just considering, I know someone already commented this months ago, but looking how much product I have left, the advertised weight again was 8.4, and I have currently used up, and that's used in this project, so any use that I did prior to this project, I have used up 8.03 grams, so technically this should only have 0.37 grams left, which I should be able to do in half a month, but clearly there is more weight in here than is advertised, which is great because it's more value for money. So yeah, happy to see that, but I actually don't know now what the end weight is going to be. So we're just going to have to keep using it and see how far we can get. But yeah, that is where I'm standing with the weight as of now. So when it comes to goals for this palette, I do have some lofty goals, but I do think I can do them. So I do want to try to finish off this blush. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. And if not, I'm going to get some really, really good headway for December to finish it up then. But I'm going to try to finish this blush up in the month of November or until the next update. Then for these 2 pans, so this one here and this one here, so those 2 that I'm also been focusing on, I do want to hit proper pan on both of those in the next month. I do definitely think I can do it in dim light. I mean, I'm almost already there in that corner again, so that one I don't think I'm going to have any issues with. This one, though, is definitely taller, so it's going to be a bit harder, but I really think I need to in order to finish it before the end of the year. So I'm going to try to hit pan on both of those. And I think that's going to be my main goals. And whenever I want to reach for this one or the bronzer, I'm going to do that. Maybe I want to start reaching for the bronzer a little bit, but my main focus is continue being these 3 because these 2 here is going to be my problem children, and then this one here, I just want to get out so I can focus on other blushes. And that is going to be the main update for my Pana palette. Let me know, do you think I can finish this palette fully before the end of the year? I know beginning of the year I was like, yeah, no problem, I can easily finish it. But now I'm realizing it's only 2 months left before the end of the year, and I still have a decent amount of product left, but I'm still hopeful. I think I should be able to do it still, but let me know what you think. Do you think I should be able to, do you think I will be able to finish this one or not? I would love to hear from you guys. And also, before, of course, I wrap up this video, I just want to give you guys a reminder to check out Annalisa down below. Again, I love them. It is my go-to jewelry brand that I shop from personally or that I have jewelry from personally. So I really, really would recommend you guys to check them out. I know a lot of content creators talk about them, but I think it's also a reason why a lot of people do collaborate with them because they're just such a good company to work with, but also the values of them and the quality of their products. So go check them out. Again, I will have the link down below. But other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.